My name is Carsten Ortzoll. I'm the proud owner of this beautiful company Memcon and also the managing director function. Memcon is a South African-based engineering company for membrane technology for liquids. So we add lots of value for not just water recycling, but adding value in all sorts of applications and high-value applications. We are at an interesting time at the moment. It's January 2017, and we see a huge demand and rising demand, not just in South Africa, but globally, for innovative technologies. Again, not just for water, but pretty much for all sorts of liquids and media that we recycle, recover, and add value. We see demand not just in South Africa, we have more and more international business. Behind us we see a plant that is for a particular tea extract filtration in Sri Lanka. We finished just now recently a coffee extract plant for South Korea. We're looking into plants left and right from me for environmental solutions, oil water separation, protein recycling, and plenty more. We are recognized and known for our core business, our expertise, our R&D, our amazing team that create wonderful plants and projects, and it's an absolute joy working here. It's a long way to get there in a niche technology, but I think we are well known now and got plenty of references out throughout the world. We have quite some remarkable industrial-sized plants built and made, supplied, delivered, commissioned, taken care of. We see a plant now behind me which is a very compact design for a particular tea extract filtration, built to standards in Sri Lanka, starting with hassles and nightmare about power supply in that country, which is totally different to us, different standards in piping, different standards in fittings. So as a South African, we are very innovative, I find, and we have to accommodate standards throughout the world and do not necessarily adopt our standards out there. So this particular plant behind me that we see now is a great example of what value we can add to existing food industry, where we add value to the quality of the product and the recovery rate, so we add value in the operation. Another good example is another plant we see behind me to my left for a protein application. We have a global demand for protein sources, different sources of animal protein or plant protein. This particular plant now adds value for a particular pancreas extract from cow stomachs. We have extracts from horseradish and particular enzyme. This is a core of our business, so not only we understand the application, but we also understand how to fabricate such plants. You see high standards on the GMP, the good manufacturing practice standards, which entails not just the hardware, in other words piping and fittings and valves and instrumentation, but also the automation. So our technology is very much in demand. Simply it's traceable. We have data capturing, data recording, and in light of GMP, it's an absolute must for high quality fabricators out there. Benefit that we offer our clients, which becomes more and more important actually in this field, is not just the filtration or just the membrane. Much more important is actually what we refer to as pre- and post-treatment. We must not ignore the necessities of the liquids to be preconditioned for this process. So what we see here, and is rather important, is a very complex range and sequence of the liquids being preconditioned to actually work in our membrane technology. And you see that being done on very little volume, very little footprint. It's almost like being in a submarine. We have a very high density of units and aggregates. We have very compact design with very little hold-up volume. And that gives us safety to the client and their operation, that the technology will work not just in a year's, but also in 10 years' time. With more and more plants, it does not only get more complex in design and functionality, but also larger in size. So we're very happy to say that we grow the business literally. We have large industrial ceramic membrane modules, for instance, dimensions we have not done before in the past. You see complex also support structures, so we'll reach some physical challenges, how we can actually accommodate these modules and these processes. It's not just big modules, it's also large-scale plants and process pumps, which is difficult even to test. If we start these pumps, the light in this area would go out, because it's such a power supply required. Well, this is a great example how we conquer the world. Sounds a bit arrogant and exaggerated, but point is that these technologies do add so much more value and it needs a strong engineering partner. Here we team up with companies in Australia and Sri Lanka and us in South Africa, which is a complex project management. But I think this is what we learned, especially in South Africa. We are very innovative and flexible on these matters. And we see good potential. We see this particular project as a great stepping stone, not only into Asia, where we actually had plants before, in India and in China and all over the show. We see it also as an interesting first reference into complex technologies of tea and coffee industries, where we hope obviously to repeat such projects and hope to grow the market and also to get more acceptance and recognized for such technologies. A very interesting sector where we see a rise in demand, and I'm very proud to say that, is the environmental solutions. South Africa is clamping down on environmental sins, on illegal discharges of liquids that are substandard. So Memcon teamed up nicely with some environmental companies to build landfill leachate plants, for instance, which man toxic wastewaters from landfill sites to irrigation standards, if not even drinking water. So we close that cycle nicely with our know-how and expertise again. For instance, behind me a plant for an ultrafiltration for a hazardous landfill site in South Africa that is going to be commissioned in the next 2 months. Over and above, we had same projects out in Uganda and other areas of South Africa. And I'm very happy to see that there is more awareness and pressure on such environmental solutions, and technology is there. We must just apply it.